The John Morris Show, episode 107. In this episode, what I learned about trust from a door-to-door salesman.
The John Morris Show. Your life on code. Ladies and gentlemen, John Morris.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the John Morris Show on johnmorrisonline.com. So just the other day, I had this Vault guy come to my front door. Now, if you're not familiar, Vault is a home security service. So they install door and window sensors, cameras, Wi-Fi locks, that kind of stuff. And this guy was offering a free system, and all I had to do was put their Vault sign in my front yard. Now, afterward, I looked it up, and I guess their systems run nearly $2,000. At least that's what I saw on there. So this was a very generous and appealing offer. And having been in the Army for 11 years and traveled around the world a bit, security is something I take pretty serious. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm semi-paranoid about this kind of stuff. Anyway, I told him no. Why? Because I didn't believe him. Usually when someone shows up at your front door with an offer that sounds too good to be true, it is. And I wondered what the catch was and how I was going to get screwed. Now it turns out it's totally legit. My brother has Vault. I knew he had a system, but I didn't know what. And I guess he got it through that very same offer. A free system, they put out the yard sign. And the catch? Well, yes, you had to do their monitoring service and their fee, which is like $50 a month, which I had expected. I knew that. But you had to sign a 5-year contract. Again, that's totally expected and really nothing shady about that because I know that they got to pay for the system somehow. So really, it was a legit deal. But I said no. And there's a lesson here for your web development career. People are naturally skeptical, as they should be. And if you want to get hired to write code for people, you have to address that skepticism head on. Now, let me give you an example. The other day, I had a guy on YouTube ask me to look at his Upwork profile and let him know what I thought that he should change. Now, the real answer to that question is everything, but there was one part that stuck out that I want to talk about in particular here. So, if you look at this, first off, notice how this fits what I almost always say about developer profiles on Upwork. He starts by listing what languages he knows. 90% of clients are already gone at that point because they just don't care that much about that stuff. And it's definitely not what you should start with. But let me stay on track here. So towards the bottom, he talks about working hard to satisfy his clients and his loyalty and effort and working with international clients, trying to make a pitch really on why someone should hire him. Now, we could talk about if that stuff is even worth putting on there in the limited space that you have. But the larger point is, saying it means nothing. People don't believe you. You can say, I'm the baddest coder on the planet, and nobody would care. You have to prove it. And this is what so many developers are missing when it comes to marketing themselves. Proof. You're loyal? Prove it. You're reliable? Prove it. You know XYZ skills? Prove it. Every single claim you make needs to be backed by hard evidence. Otherwise, clients will just gloss over it and not really care. You'll sound just like one of the millions of other developers spouting off about how great they are. The truly good ones can prove it, and clients know that. So think of your client's natural skepticism as a rock that you have to chip away at piece by piece with your proof until eventually it just crumbles into dust. And then you can sell yourself. Now, the funny thing is, when you only say things you can prove, you notice the things that you say tend to shrink. But that's okay. That's how it should be. You only need a handful of sales points to get hired. People just need to actually believe them. So what's likely missing from your pitch isn't more sales speak, it's more evidence. So you build badass looking contact forms. Prove it. Show me your portfolio full of those contact forms. Or you're a PHP genius. Show me your test scores or your accolades or whatever. You're reliable? Show me a testimonial of a client saying that exact thing about you. It's proof. That is what matters. Now, let me give you one last example. So this is a picture I took from one of the top floors of One World Trade Center Tower in New York City. And I was there in the Inc. magazine offices. And I was there for a mastermind of some of the top internet marketers on the planet. Little old me sitting courtside for an exclusive meeting of some of the best business minds on the planet. So, what is this proof of? It's proof of the power of PHP. I got there because I'd built a website for an executive director at Inc. at the time, and he asked specifically for me to be there. So I was flown out, hotel paid for, meals paid for, and free attendance at the event while everybody else had to pay. And the single reason why was PHP. Now, those same opportunities are open to you. You just gotta learn PHP. And in my humble opinion, the simplest way to do that is to head on over to johnmorrisonline.com/PHP and enroll in my PHP 101 course. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to this episode. If you like it, be sure to like this episode so that I know that you enjoyed this kind of content. If you know somebody that'd benefit from hearing this and needs that reinforcement about the proof that they need to show, I'd appreciate it if you'd share it with them. And if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe so that you never miss an episode. Thanks again for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.